Hello and welcome back to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and I'd like to start by saying hello to the new subscribers. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Thank you for those that are following the Twitter. And it's a big day today. It's a big day today because we have a big inflation report coming out. We are expecting CPI numbers later today, and of course they will be fudged, as they always are, or as is the new normal since around the end of 2019. And if you don't believe me, stick around, as I'm going to prove to you why they're fudged. For those of you that don't know what CPI is, the Consumer Price Index is a measure of inflation which examines a weighted average of the prices of a basket of consumer goods and services such as transportation, food and medical care. What it does is it measures and tracks the price of each of these categories. So for example, food, it will track the price of food this year and compare it to the price of food last year. And so really how this works is it measures a basket of goods and services against themselves, and it tracks the price changes for each of these goods or services. And if you can notice that food is just gradually getting more and more expensive every year without fail, then it stands to reason that we are seeing inflation pertinent to the food in this example. So I mentioned earlier that it's a bit of a lie and they fudge the data, and I'm going to show you why. So if you have a look here, you can see the 8 major groups of the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. Each of these has, for example, subdivisions. So transport might have oil, gasoline, other sorts of fuels subdivided in here. But the idea is that they would track this basket of goods and services against itself consistently and then attempt to measure inflation against this. However, during the pandemic, we saw that they have been expanding the monetary supply really quite rapidly. I did cover this in previous videos, but just in case you haven't seen it. So I've dug this out from the channel. This is one of our older videos. The case for 5-figure gold this decade is the title of the video. And the headline, the reason I bring this up is I wanted to show you this headline. 80% of all dollars in existence were printed in the last 22 months. So they did expand the monetary supply from 4 trillion in January 2020 to 20 trillion in October 2021. So during this massive expansion, in an attempt to hide the inflation, what they started to do was change the way they calculated the CPI basket. So essentially what they do is they say, let's measure these 8 major groups, and then when food and beverages or transportation is showing inflation figures of 30%, they simply omit those groups in order to skew the CPI reading and hide the fact that inflation is as severe as it is. If you're in doubt about this at the moment, then please do stick around, and I will show you that I am not the pioneer of this truth, Peter Schiff is. So I'd just like to point out that the annual inflation rate in the United States is 7.9% for February 2022. So this is, of course, using their make-believe metric. And if you calculate it the way that it used to be calculated prior to 2019 and the massive expansion of the monetary supply, what you'll find is you'll get a number above 20% using the way they used to calculate it pre-pandemic. The same is absolutely true in the UK. If you use their number, you get 6.2%. But anyone that lives in the UK, anyone that has been to a petrol station or a supermarket, or checked their gas bill, or been to get a haircut, so on and so forth, you know full well that the prices is significantly north of 6%. We are far closer to the upper teens. And getting on for 20% inflation. That's the real world number, again, because they changed the way they calculate this, and they changed the CPI basket in order to hide the fact that the inflation is as severe as it is. So moving on, I've got a clip to show you here of Peter Schiff entitled "The CPI is a Lie."
You were tweeting like last week, the CPI is another government lie. And just now you referenced the changes they made in 1998. So my question for you is, what changed and why now should we not trust this number?
Well, the government always makes changes to their methods of measuring things, whether it's GDP or inflation or unemployment. And they always tweak the numbers to produce a better result as a report card. It's like, if the students were allowed to kind of change the way they were graded, like the methodology for coming up with their grades, would it surprise anybody that all of a sudden they started getting more A's and and B's and fewer, C's and D's, right? The government always wants to make the good stuff better, like economic growth, and the bad stuff worse, like unemployment or inflation, right? So they want to find ways to make those numbers little and the good numbers big. So they made a lot of changes in 98. I mean, very substantial ones, because they were taking into consideration the recommendations of the Boskin Commission, which according to the Boskin Commission, the CPI was overstating inflation. So they introduced other formulas into the computation of the number to try to correct that. There's a lot of geometric weighting and substitution and hedonics, and I think this period of, oh, wow, we have low inflation. It's not a coincidence that it followed this major revision into how we, calculate it. It's interesting because the government keeps complaining there's not enough inflation. Yet they're the ones that are cooking the books to pretend that inflation is lower than it really is. Because what they're really trying to do is get the go-ahead to produce more inflation, which is printing money. The CPI will never reveal the true extent of these price increases.
So there you have it. The CPI is a lie. They are changing the way that they calculate. They are changing the metrics by which they are graded on, and ultimately they do want more inflation. And why do they want more inflation? And if you've been watching the channel from the start, you know exactly what I'm about to say. They want more inflation because they need more inflation, and they need more inflation for two reasons, guys. They need it firstly because they've got 30 trillion of debt that they cannot service any other way, and they also want it because they want to inflate people into poverty so that they need to accept government handouts, universal basic income, and central bank digital currencies. This is why it's important to have some money outside the system. This is why it's important to hold things like gold, silver, and Bitcoin, not on exchanges, not paper gold. And this is the message that this channel is repeatedly drilling home to everyone. So please do share this around. This is important. This is important information to get out there. If for those people that are privileged enough to be able to enjoy the benefits of being able to have some money outside the system, then you should absolutely be taking advantage of this. So finishing on a slightly lighter note, this has been in the news very recently. Where's the date? I can't find it. A few days ago, Saturday 9th of April. Savings accounts. Banks are offering 2.5% interest rate. So you can now get 2.5%, guys. Of course, what is 2.5% away from their 6%? So you're still guaranteed to be losing money. And of course, the real world number, as we know, is 18, 20, maybe more, 20%. Certainly will be by the end of this year. Will certainly be north of 22% by the end of this year. So if you want to be guaranteed to lose 18% of your purchasing power per year, you can of course open one of these 2.5% interest rate bank accounts and leave your money in there for them to loan out and profit from, all the while you take the hit of almost negative 20% per year. So big day today. We'll see what the inflation number says. Of course, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, guys. The real thing will be, is their number above or below the last reading? That's what's really important. You can't really trust the actual number itself. But if the number is higher, then we might be seeing some pressure on markets, because the Fed is apparently trying to fight inflation by doing things like running off its balance sheet and raising interest rates. Of course, these are only temporary solutions to a problem that will eventually lead to something breaking and then being forced to turn the printers back on, and we will all be blessed with even higher inflation, because of course that is their end goal. So if you found value here today, guys, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, follow us on Twitter. Thank you and welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you and welcome back to the original subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. Please do share this around, help us grow the channel. I'm really enjoying doing this. I love speaking about this stuff. So if you find value here, if you like hearing me ramble about all this stuff, then there's more to come. Till then, I'm your boy Camel. Take care. All the best. Bye.